Hello, and welcome to the WWIA Podcast. We're honored to have you join us in our mission to bring honor, connection, and healing to America's combat-wounded Purple Heart heroes. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, we welcome you. If you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back. Please be sure to tell others about our podcast and leave us a review if you're enjoying what you're hearing. On this latest episode of the WWIA Podcast, WWIA Founder and CEO John McDaniel is honored to spend some quality time with two of the Foundation's long-standing friends and leaders. Today, we proudly welcome combat-wounded Purple Heart heroes and WWIA certified guides, Jeremy Smith and Dere VanBuren, to the show. Jeremy and Dere are attending WWIA's second iteration of their leadership development program at WWIA headquarters in beautiful Apollo Beach, Florida. The leadership development program is designed to identify, train, and develop key leaders within WWIA. Few have the opportunity to fully understand the inner workings of the organization, how events are planned, resources are managed, and operations are developed. This program bridges that gap by providing personalized leadership development experiences led directly by WWIA's founder and CEO. Participants will gain a deeper understanding of what it takes to plan, resource, and execute complex WWIA events and activities, as well as manage the day-to-day functions that keep the organization thriving. Jeremy Smith served 2.5 years in the U.S. Army with the 101st Airborne Division. In 2006, he was injured by mortar shrapnel in Baghdad, Iraq, and was awarded the Purple Heart Medal. After several surgeries and months of physical therapy, he was medically retired from the service. Jeremy currently lives in Burke, South Dakota, with his beautiful wife April and their daughter Natalie and son Matthew. For the past 3 years, Jeremy has owned and operated Star Lake Outfitters, providing exciting hunting and fishing expeditions. Hunting and fishing have always been a part of his life, but it never played such an important role until now. Since leaving the military, Jeremy has found special solace in the conservation of the outdoors and the tranquility and peace it provides. Dere VanBuren grew up with a love for hunting, fishing, and trapping from an early age, and his passion for all things outdoors continues to this day. While attending college, he worked as a hunting guide, which broadened his interest in hunting, especially bow hunting. Dere joined the Army in July of 1998 and was deployed to Afghanistan from November of 2008 until July 2009. While deployed, he and other members of his crew were wounded by an RPG during an intense firefight. He then spent time in Lundstal, Germany, Walter Reed Army Hospital, and the Warrior Transition Unit while recovering from wounds, for which he received the Purple Heart Medal. He attended his first WWIA event at Camp Hackett, Wisconsin in the fall of 2010 and has been a valuable part of the WWIA team ever since. Today, he lives in Negaunee, Michigan with his wife Katie and 2 children, Eli and Amelia. He enjoys stream fishing for brook trout, fishing Lake Superior for lake trout, predator hunting, grouse and small game hunting, bow hunting of all kinds, and most anything outdoors. This is a wonderful episode, so without further delay, let's join John, Jeremy, and Dere right now.
Hi, I'm John McDaniel, founder and CEO of the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation, and this is our podcast, Honor, Connect, and Heal. I'd like to welcome back to the program 2 very special people. They're guides for the foundation. I've known them both for 12, 15 years. We're not counting, but it's been a while, and these are just great Americans, both of whom are Purple Heart recipients, trained and certified guides through our program, and they're here and have been here in Apollo Beach with me and Danny Kursick for the leadership development program that we're running, and it's awesome to have you on the program. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Yeah. So it's good to see you guys. It's been fun so far. We've had a lot of fun, and we're going to talk about that. what we've done. But I want to start out and kind of level the playing field. Both these great Americans have been on our podcast before. And I said, we're into our third year of doing this. So, I just want to welcome you guys back. And we'll start with you, Derek, if you would. Just give us a quick thumbnail sketch of, hey, I live in the UP, I do this, I do that, and, take it from there, your story. That's what we're looking for.
Sure. Derek VanBuren. I'm from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I live in the town of Negaunee. It's near the city of Marquette, if you'd ever heard of that. It's right on the shore. Negaunee. Right? Sounds
like a Native American name.
Yep, they all have those names up there. Right on the shore of Lake Superior. Born and raised up there. Joined the Army when I was 18 years old. I spent 26 years total, active duty and National Guard.
Wow.
Retired in July last year. I held many jobs. I had air defense, mechanic, logistics.
Wow.
And, doing supplies.
What unit? Were you the same unit the whole time?
No, I was in several. I was my first duty station was Korea, 2nd Infantry Division.
On active duty?
On active duty,
okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Perfect.
And then from there, 10th Mountain Division. I was in 362 Air Defense Artillery as a 14 Sierra Avenger crew member.
Wow.
Yeah. And then from there, ended up joining the National Guard later on and tried a few different jobs, different things I could try out. Had a little break in service, came back in, became a combat engineer. And that's what I deployed as, route clearance, good times in Afghanistan, places like that.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I'd spent some time active guard reserve, had a few years of that job, which was pretty great, actually. I enjoyed it. It's a lot of aspects of the active duty and kind of getting to live in the area that you want to live in, which is really nice.
Sure.
I enjoyed it.
So you did about 6 years on active duty?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. 2 year assignments, but between, that's right. Korea's 1.
Right.
So you did a 1 and then a 3 at 10th Motown.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got it. Okay, cool.
So and then, that's pretty much been my last, since 18 years old doing that. Obviously, my hobbies are hunting and fishing and trapping. And,
Up there in the UP, you got lots of opportunity as a Youper to do that.
Yep, sure do.
It's cold up in them parts. We were talking about that today. You got a lot of snow last year, didn't you?
We did. We got a lot of snow last year. Got to do a lot of snowmobiling, a lot of ice fishing, all that good stuff.
You got a snow machine?
Yes, sir.
What do you got?
I got it's a Skidoo 900.
Is that good for trail too? I gotta get that's on my list, man. Is to get a snow machine and run a trap line up there. Which I'm going to do. That's a bucket list thing for me, believe it or not.
Oh, it's a good time.
Yeah.
You'd enjoy it. You'd love it. Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you have a family too, and now you're working. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So, I got two kids. I got my son Eli. He's 21 years old. He's
football player.
Yes, he's a very good football player. Plays Division II college football at Northern Michigan University. My daughter, she recently graduated high school. She'll be starting at the same college in the fall. She's 19.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Life's good as a dad, isn't it?
It's great. I enjoy it. It's one of the greatest things ever. Really
it didn't come with a handbook, right? I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
I swear, sometimes, not so much anymore because my boys are a little bit older, but when they were really young, I just remember thinking to myself, I'd lay in bed at night and I'd kind of run the day through my head and I'd be like, geez, I think I really screwed that up, and I said the wrong thing or I did the wrong thing, and the next morning they're like, hey, Dad, you're like, it's a new day. All right. Okay. Everything's cool, man. It's just, it's great when they get a little bit older and you can, relate to them. But when they're, young little babes, it's, it was not an easy time for me to crack that code, but I think I'm through that. But anyway, so now you're working. What are you doing now that you're retired from the service?
So I applied for a position at the Michigan Department of Transportation as an engineer assistant, and I ended up getting that that job. And it's honestly, it's enjoyable. It's laid back. Yeah. It's really, I guess, chill,
That fits you though, man.
It fits me. It fits me perfect.
You are Mr. Chill. Nicole, my assistant, and I were chatting about both you two. So we had Jake and Matt here on the first run, right? And she had, I hope I'm not talking out of school here, but Matt and Jake are, they're high, I don't say high energy, but they're firing. There's a lot of activity going on there. And you guys are on the little more of this, the like if they're in fourth gear, you guys are in 1 and 2, which I really appreciate, man. I mean, that's really more like me. When I get around high energy guys, I get high energy, and that's a lot going on. But Nicole said something like, you went from, it was her observation, because she only taught, I don't think you guys even met her yet, have you?
I haven't met Nicole.
I've met Nicole.
Yeah, okay, you met Nicole. Yeah, I knew one of you two hadn't, but she was like, "That you're going from Jake and Matt to Derek and Jeremy. That's going to be a big shift." And I go, "What do you mean?" She's like, and then she talked about the energy piece, and I go, "That's a good observation." But I knew when you two were coming in, I was like, this is going to be super cool, man, because we're going to be in a cool gear the whole time. So, sure. Yeah, that's neat. Well, I appreciate you sharing all that. Jeremy, we'd love to get caught up on you, man. What's going on? Bring us kind of the present day with, your service. And then after that, we'll talk about, your Purple Hearts and the when you guys got injured or wounded. I know I'd love to hear it again, and I'm sure that those listening would. But get us up to speed on you, buddy.
Sure. Thanks, John. I live in South Central South Dakota. Run a guide service and work for Pheasants Forever building habitat. I'm a habitat specialist with them.
That's cool.
Yeah, really enjoy it. Just outside all the time, enjoying seeing what's going on.
Man, we got to get you up to Camp Hackett.
Yeah, let's get some habitat built.
Yeah, let's do some
manipulate some things.
Let's do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. What a good thing. All right, I didn't mean to interrupt you, man. No, I just think it's cool.
Yeah, I live down there with my wife, April, and my son, Matthew, who currently graduated high school and will also be going to college this year.
Oh, good.
But he's only 17, so he's on the other spectrum from Derek's daughter. And that's how both my kids were. My daughter lives in Mitchell, where Matthew's going to college. So it'd be good for them to be close to each other.
Good. Are they close?
Pretty close. As close as a brother and sister 2 years apart could be.
That's like me and my sister. We are very close, but we could go 6 months without seeing each other, and then it's just it's back on when we do.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. That's a good relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. So the two kids and this job you're doing. Tell us about your military. Let's do this. Tell us about your military career and take us up to and go right into the time you got hit.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll hear Derek's story, and then we'll move on to other stuff. But I just can't go on without hearing it. I just got to hear it.
Absolutely. The August of 2005, I joined the Army, active duty. Went through training, got stationed with the 101st Airborne out of Fort Campbell. As soon as we got to base, we were fast-tracked and sent straight to Iraq, kind of as fill-in troops. Less than 6 months, and I was in country.
So your unit was already deployed, or you deployed
Correct.
With your unit?
No, they were deployed, and we just played catch-up with them. They'd already been there 6 months.
What's it like to get into, to come, to integrate into a unit that's already deployed? What was that like?
That was terrible.
I bet.
Those guys have been together for a certain amount of time.
And you're the newbie.
Country for
you're the FNG, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. We were not well received. We did what we had to get in there. It all worked.
Yeah.
We meshed well eventually.
Yeah, you got to get some time under a rucksack, right?
That's right.
And then they're like, okay, he's all right. Now you're part of the unit, get shot at together a couple times. It's all good.
Right. Just enough time to get wounded and leave.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. So 7 days. So it was October, not 7 days in, 7 days from coming home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We were.
You were there for how long at that point?
6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. They were just finishing their 12-month tour.
Okay.
And 2ID was coming in to relieve us. So their Advon had hit fob loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
This is 2006, so the Iraqis knew the drill by now. More helicopter traffic, shoulder patch change. Let's hit them. There's more guys. They're more vulnerable. Everybody wants to shift, leave, and change. So we started getting hit with mortars on the fob. And I was actually...
Do you think they knew?
Absolutely knew.
Wow. And that is a good time, because now you got almost twice the force there, because they know you're going to be transitioning, right?
Right. And who comes in Advon?
Oh, the leadership.
The leadership. So now there's twice the leadership.
Wow. I never thought about that. They knew it. But yeah.
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 Yeah, they weren't dumb.
Mm-mm. Wow. So... You're 7 days from going home.
Correct. 7 days left. And
what are you doing when this happens?
I was actually changing a belt on a Hemet fueler.
Okay, so you're a mechanic.
I was a mechanic, 63 Bravo.
Okay.
Mechanic. And trying to change a belt on a Hemet fueler, couldn't get it to work, swore the PLL sergeant gave me the wrong belt. So I walked back 5 steps outside the door, mortars start dropping. First thing I hear is my platoon sergeant holler, where's Smith? Oh, hey, I'm right here. We were mortared fairly often, so it wasn't a big deal. You just waited out.
Seek cover and waited out.
Right. Yeah, we got into the little office, closed the plywood door.
You guys got like bunkers and stuff you could go to? No?
No.
Well, we had bunkers that you could go to.
No.
Nothing. No overhead cover, nothing.
The overhead cover was a tin roof. Yeah,
that's on a fob. That surprises me. They you had been getting mortared. So why in the hell why didn't you guys build some sort of, I don't know, makeshift overhead cover? I don't know. Yeah,
there was nothing. There was one centralized area. Nobody wanted to go into it. It used to be Saddam's torture chamber. This complex we occupied was an old college area. So there was tall buildings, yes. One building.
Your fob is in the middle of what used to be a built-up area.
Yeah, right in the middle of eastern Baghdad.
Oh, so there was some cover. You could get in a building or something like that.
But the buildings had tin roofs.
Okay.
What kind of cover is that? Mortars come right through tin.
Good point.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest. Well, anyway, that mortar lands just 3 feet outside our plywood door. Takes out one of the 2ID guys. He did not die, thank God, because that would have been extra traumatic. Terrible enough that all this happens.
Yeah.
But we did not lose anybody in that. I was in the seated position, my left side to the door, and when the mortar landed, shrapnel hit me in my left side, broke my tibia. So I was struck in the arm and the leg. Fell forward onto the ground. The motor sergeant was trying to call for help over the phone.
Medic?
Nothing's working. Can't figure out what's going on. He decides, let's just get out of this.
So just 2 of you?
No, there was 8 or 9 of us in there.
That all took shrapnel?
Not everybody was hit. Okay. Most of us were. Maybe 7 of them.
Did the blast break your leg?
No, it was actually shrapnel.
Oh, wow.
Yep, cracked my tibia.
Okay. Now, your tibia, you've got the femur, the fibia, and the tibia, right? That's the low.
Right, femur's upper.
Yeah, and the lower.
Tibia, fibia is lower, so below the knee.
Below the knee is where it broke the bone.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. So my motor sergeant tried to get up, said, let's go, let's get out of here. And I said, I can't stand. And then looked down and saw the blood. Never felt a thing.
But you felt the concussion, you see.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you had to have your bell rung too, right?
Correct. Yeah. It was pretty rough.
And then you look down and you're like, okay, I'm hit.
Now we understand.
Right.
He gets out the door. Guys start coming, start triaging, put me on a stretcher.
7 days from going home.
Right.
Do you have a helmet on?
No.
Because you're working in the motor pool?
I was working in the motor pool on the fob.
It could have been
under a truck.
Could have killed you,
man. Could have been bad.
Could have been real bad. I mean, because let's face it, your lower leg isn't too far from your brain. I mean, relative to shrapnel. Do you know what kind of mortar it was?
They say it was an 82.
Okay, yeah, Soviet 82 millimeter. Yeah, that's a decent mortar, man.
Yep.
That'll do some damage. Wow. Well, thank God, man. I mean, it can always be worse, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you look great today. You guys are both, in your 40s, and you look tremendous, and just a great story of resilience. And I'm so happy to have you here. It's wonderful. I appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Absolutely.
So, Derek, let's hear your story.
So, in 2009, I was deployed to Afghanistan to do route clearance. This is when I was a 12 Bravo combat engineer.
So that's what your job was, is to clear routes so that the rest of the forces could go down it with some degree of certainty that there wasn't any landmines or improved explosive devices, whatever, on the route?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So we were on a mission that day. It was an early morning. I want to say it was like 4 a.m.
What year is this?
2009, and this was on July 19th.
Okay.
And we were running between two FOBs. Our job that day was basically clear for the 3rd of the 509th Infantry, the 25th Infantry Division.
Okay, electric strawberry guys.
Yep, exactly. And we were getting rolling. Our mission was actually to dismount that day and get up into the high points and basically make contact and kill the enemy. That was what we were supposed to do that day.
Maintain
Correct.
Enemy contact. And
Correct.
There's no better way than getting out there and doing it, right?
Right. Well, before we could do that, we got ambushed immediately. And they estimated it was around 200 Taliban fighters that we were.
So the route clearance team got ambushed. How
Right
far is
away.
the main body behind you? Are they not even...
They were pretty much right behind us at the time. Yeah.
So you guys are leading this motorcade, this patrol, whatever you wanted to call this movement, clearing the route, and the main body is behind you.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started rolling through. Usually our course of action when that happened was to just roll through the ambush, because that's pretty much the only thing.
Get on the far side.
Point. Correct. And we're all rolling in MRAPs, mine resistant armor protected vehicles. Yeah. And we started rolling through, and I mean it was intense. There was a lot of gunfire. It was
So they initiate the ambush with an IED, or what did they?
There was no. It was initiated by gunfire, RPG fire, small arms, stuff like that.
How close is how close are they to you at this point?
It varied. It was anywhere from 50 meters to probably 800 to 1,000 meters
so
away.
They got guys. This is an area that they've been observing, and they're waiting for you to come.
Oh, very much.
Are you in a built-up area?
We knew we were rolling into a big.
Is it a built-up area?
Not at all. This was.
This is wide open.
Wide open. Yeah, wide open. It was a wadi, basically.
So there's high ground on both sides of you?
Correct.
That's a perfect ambush, right?
It was a perfect ambush, and it was set up perfectly because the sun was coming up in the direction that we were firing, and they were firing at us.
So they got the sun to their back. Correct. And it's right in your eyes. The last play, it's like a gunfight. They say you want the sun to your back, and if you're a hunter, you want the sun to your back and the wind to your face.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing that morning. They did. Yeah. So anyway, we started rolling through, and we were hearing about as over the radio that a lot of the vehicles are taking some pretty heavy fire. A few guys were wounded. And we just kept rolling through, and we were making our way around a corner, and it kind of calmed down a little bit. This was about 20 minutes into the firefight, maybe 30. And I told my gunner, you know him, his name's John French.
Frenchy, God bless him, man.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, okay, Frenchy, go ahead and reload now. We were rolling with a.
So you're the TC,
I'm the TC.
Frenchy's your gunner?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we had a Mark 19 and a 240 Bravo on our vehicle. Mm-hmm. So he rolled to the non-contact side, reloaded, turned the turret back toward where the contact was coming from, and I remember him saying something. I don't remember exactly what the word was, but he was distressed. Some rounds flew right by his hands. Like he actually saw the tracer the rounds go right by his hands.
Crap.
Shortly after that, a big explosion went off. An RPG hit the top of our vehicle. We both sustained shrapnel wounds from it. He got the brunt of that because he was more exposed than I was. He took some, to the spleen. He had some burns in his eyes, and a lot of shrapnel all over him. It shredded his elbow. My wounds were all in my shoulders. I took one in the leg.
Well, he's higher than you.
He's higher. He's right above me.
Yeah, he's above you, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of above and behind.
Right.
Right. The thing about those MRAP vehicles is they're very armored on the sides and on the bottom, but not really so much on the top. And they hit that perfect spot with the RPG when they fire.
And that scene. Yeah.
Right. Wow. So basically, I think we talked about this earlier, Jeremy, too. Like the slow down,
how time slows.
Time slows right down, and everything, your voices, everything slows down. It's really it's surreal when you experience that. Like everything just. It's kind of.
Yeah. You know who did a really good job of that, for those that want to get a sense for what that might be like, is if you watch Saving Private Ryan. Yes. and the Spielberg movie and the opening at D-Day, where you got the Tom Hanks, the captain who's on the beach, and you can hear the rounds and the sound of the rounds hitting, metal and the explosions, and it he slows the film down. It's in slow motion. That's what it's like, and you just have these memories of it, and it's it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So what I remember then after that, once everything came to, was the burning feeling of the shrapnel and not being able to move my arms for a few seconds, and then I just lifted my arms as hard as I could. I just tried as hard as I could to lift my arms, and I lifted them, and. After that, realized that I was bleeding, and it takes a while for your brain to register what happens when you go through something like that.
Well, you took a direct hit from an RPG.
Correct.
You're both lucky to be here.
Extremely. My helmet looked like shredded cabbage once the RPG hit us and the shrapnel, had gone through. And this was after the fact. This is that they let me know this, once we were gone. The whole situation, everything just kind of happened so fast, and everything is such a blur. But you remember certain things about it. I can remember the smell of the smoke grenade that got detonated inside the vehicle. There was a green smoke grenade that went off.
And that smell, undeniable.
Undeniable smell, yeah. I was covered in green. We were all green. It was green smoke.
So little things like that.
Little things like that.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, eventually we got through it. The enemy retreated. We got to a point to where we stopped, set up security. Medevac came in. They hauled us away on a Black Hawk helicopter back to base, and that was
just you and French.
Oh no, there was several more. Yeah, there was several more. There were some casualties. There were some that were there was some Afghan army that were deceased in that contact. So yeah, it was intense, but so.
Well, I appreciate you guys sharing your story with us, man. I know it's not easy to talk about, but we're all very proud of you and thankful for what you guys did for our country. And those are things you're never obviously gonna forget. But it also brings you closer in some way. I mean, you made it, right? And a lot of guys didn't make it, and it's a pretty powerful story and resilience, so appreciate that a lot. So let's talk for a minute, shift gears here and talk about this leadership development program. Just for the audience and for the record, I've been working on this program for several years, thinking about what I wanted to do in the way of leadership development, with whom I wanted to do it in the organization, and why I wanted to do it, and how we were going to do it, and what did that look like, and then how was I going to fund it. So we had put together several funding proposals to do this, because it's not cheap flying guys in and putting them up and resourcing it and all this, and I just couldn't get anybody to bite on it, man, and say, I'll help you fund that. So we just said, you know what, damn the torpedoes, we're going to take it out of hide and do whatever we have to do to make it happen. I said, we're going to do this. So that's what we've done. And I'm super happy that we're doing it. This is iteration number 2, and we're taking the guides, great Americans like you guys, and we're bringing them here. And the idea was, I'll say it because I gave it a lot of thought. And that thought was, I went back into my military career. And of course, in my civilian world, I've had some really good leaders in the civilian world, a couple of bosses I worked for. And I just began to think about, well, what was it about that guy, that I, felt like I was going to work harder for, or I just didn't want to disappoint. It's sort of like that relationship I had with my dad. Why was I staying out there in the heat, scraping, the stain off of the cedar planks on the side of the house for 8 hours? Why was I doing that? It's not, as an example. Well, I was doing it because I knew my dad was going to come out and inspect it. And I knew that I wanted to make him proud of what I was doing. And it's the same thing about the leaders, that I felt like I was working that hard for. I was like, why? Well, what was it about him that why did he, and I could never really put my finger on it. The French say it's the fancy French way of saying it, for what it's worth, is the je ne sais quoi, the I don't know what it is. It's like when you say you're going shopping, right? You don't know what you're shopping for, but when I see it, I'll know, right? It's that same thing. There's a magical component to it that I could never put my finger on. Now, I know the Army defines leadership as purpose, direction, and motivation, and there's the art form of it and all this. And I get that. I'm bought into it. But why would I follow that guy through the gates of hell with gasoline-soaked underwear? Why would I do that? I have answers for it. I do. But it pretty much starts and ends with, because I admire him and I don't want to let him down. And I didn't even see the guy that much. It wasn't even like, I'm talking about battalion and brigade commanders or company commanders. I have a couple of them in my life. I was like, holy cow, man. That guy, I just damn near do anything for him. Yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full. But there was others that I would still be a good officer and do my job. But I can tell you one thing, some of the officers that I had, that I worked for didn't yield that level of, I don't know what the word is, that I didn't feel the same way about, I guess is the best way to put that. So I gave it a lot of thought, and I thought, what could we do here in this organization so that I could spend more time with you guys, so you guys could see more of me and how I actually live. We're going to eat steak in my house tonight. You guys were out there fishing with the best guide that I know in Tampa Bay, Phil Pagley. We had the best, cameraman, videographer, productionist that I know, with Danny Kirsak here with you guys. I just thought I could put something together that you guys could walk in. Tomorrow you're going to meet the staff that you've never met. You're in the headquarters you've never been in. And I just thought that, geez, if you guys walked out of here after a long weekend of packed full of cool stuff, getting to know me better and the organization better, and had some training in there too, because we're going to do some suicide prevention training stuff for you guys. Load up your rucksacks a little bit with good stuff that you might walk out of here going, I get a little bit more. I got another piece of the puzzle. I understand it. I'm more connected, and I somehow am better, equipped to go out and do my job. And you guys have been leading events for 10 years plus and doing a phenomenal job. And I see you guys as the future of the organization. So that sets up LDP for you. But Jeremy, you start and tell us so far about your weekend, man. You got to do a lot of things I didn't get to see. I wasn't on the fishing trip with you, and I wasn't with you when you were chatting with Danny, but we just did a tour of McDaniel Air Force Base, which was pretty cool. But what do you got to say about all this, man?
Yeah, well, it's an honor to be down here. It's a lot of fun to meet the people that we talk to and converse with very regularly, right, but never put a face to. Right. So I'm excited to meet the staff. I was pretty fortunate to get to go out on that boat and fish with Captain Phil and Dere. We had a great time, learned a lot about saltwater fishing here in Tampa Bay, just simple tips and tricks. And we did a lot of running around and changing gear, just adding to that rucksack, as you say.
I saw you caught a nice snook.
Yeah, awesome snook.
Who caught the 33? Was that you?
That was me.
It's a nice fish.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, great fish, good fight. Beautiful. They're very, very cool fish. Never seen a snook before in my life.
You know, what it reminds me of when I caught my first one and I examined it really well, I was like, this is like a cross between a walleye and a bass.
Yeah, he's got that big vertical line.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, pretty neat fish.
Yeah, very. And they're tasty too. They're out of season right now, so we have to let everything go. But yeah, so yeah, good, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about what's good. Tomorrow will be a fun day. Tonight, we're just gonna go back and burn some meat. Maybe watch a hockey game or something. I don't know, but yeah, when we get all done with this and you get back to South Dakota, you have some time to reflect on this a little bit. And also I'm going to tell you guys, don't let me forget, but we're going to give you like a hot wash. What was good, what was bad, what you like more. Your feedback on this whole thing is important to me, very important to me. We took some of the things I learned from Jake and Matt and incorporated into this. So I'm going to take some things from you guys and I'm sure make minor modifications as we move forward to the next group. And I have to say that what you have to say is important, and it'll shape the future iterations of this as we go on. So this is supposed to be 3. Who is supposed to be with us?
That's right, Greg Brzezinski.
Yeah. So I've been praying for him, and I know a lot of people have been, and he was supposed to be on this mission with us, and he got in an accident, and he's still in and out of ICU, and maybe everybody who's listening to this can send a prayer up and ask the good Lord that Greg heal rapidly and recover and get back to a normal life. But he was supposed to be here, and buddy, hopefully you get to listen to this someday. And we were just thinking about you and wishing that you were here and wishing you well. So, yeah. You got anything else you want to say, buddy?
No.
Okay.
Besides talking with Danny, that was pretty eye-opening.
I bet it was. I bet it was.
Man, he's pretty talented and a special guy.
And
I've known him for quite a few years, so it was pretty nice to reconnect.
Yeah.
But yeah, Derek and Danny thought I was kidding when I said, what is TikTok? What is Instagram? We're talking about these newer feeds, and I have no clue how these things operate. I'm just old. Facebook works.
Right.
And that's that. Like, Facebook has Facebook Reels. Why do we need all these other platforms? Yeah. My kids tell me I'm old. Dad, you're old. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to get with the times and figure it out. But that's what it takes now.
Well, part of that to bring Danny, in full circle here, he's a very talented man. Not only is he a very talented musician, he's a guitarist, and he's played in several bands, to include Dolly Parton's band. Once upon a time, but he's also a tremendous photographer and video man, and he's worked on several syndicated programs and done lots of freelance work and so forth. But I asked him to come along because I just know that there's a lot of power in telling stories. And today, going back to the TikTok, by the way, the foundation's not on TikTok. I pumped the brakes on that. I didn't pump the brakes. I hit the brakes on that.
Oh, good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, we're on everything else, Instagram, X, which was former Twitter, I guess.
Well, we'll have to have a conversation about that, because I don't know what that is either.
Yeah. Well, if you say you're old, I must be a dinosaur, man. But yeah, the thing of it is that it's very cost effective public relations, and if you're running a charity, newsflash, you got to people who want to support you or think they are interested in supporting you need to know, what are you doing? Because there's a lot of charities out there that, you might want to, well, you got to take a hard look. I mean, $1 is hard to get, right? And people who support charities need to know that what you're doing, on the working aspect of it is having an impact, right? And so people have options. They got lots of options out there. In the charity space, we're a veteran charity. It happens to cater to Purple Heart recipients and happens to do outdoor sporting activities, as a means of honor, connecting, and helping, heal. That's what we do. That's our mission set. And there's a ton of data out there that says that what we're doing is good, or if not great, but it's, people are visual. They don't want to look at a PowerPoint slide deck. They don't really care what I have to say. I'm the talking head, but what they care about is what you guys have to say. I mean, not only you the recipient of the, and hopefully benefiting from the program, you're actually leading the space. So your opinion's a lot more important from my perspective and opinion anyway. But I appreciate you sharing. That's why I brought Danny in, is to load your rucksack up with some other ideas and thoughts. And it's not me, it's not me saying it, because I'm not an expert in that space. Danny's an expert at capturing that moment, whatever that is. And, so we think about it like before, during, and after, right? Before, it's like PMCS, preventive maintenance checks and services. Before operations, during operations, and after operations. That's the way it unfolds perfectly in our space. And if we could add a little social media, je ne sais quoi to the whole thing, people might go, oh, I get it. For years, people would say, what are you doing, man? That's just honest to God. They say, oh, I'm sorry, I see your Facebook page, but what are you doing? Yeah. And I'd have to explain, I'd have to sit there and go, what am I doing? Well, I'm taking these great Americans out hunting and fishing. What are you doing? Right?
Right.
And then as I got to think about it, I was like, what are we really doing, man? What's really going on here? I know I'm feeling something. I know they're feeling something. There's some like magic happening here, and I don't know what that is. And it's not really magic. It's a lot of layers. But I mean, what they all say, read the testimonials. Every single one, we've got like 1,600 first person testimonials on the website. And if you take the time to look at them, they're all from combat wounded guys and some gals. And they all pretty much say the same thing. Like, hey, I got the number one comment is I got to be with my buddies, my peer group. I got to bond. I got to relax. I got to meet these dudes. And they feel really good because you guys are in a really exclusive little tribe. Newsflash. You got a Purple Heart. Now, I know you didn't want it. I get that. And that's what makes it even more special. Nobody goes out there looking to get wounded or, God, forbid, killed. But, you're in a pretty cool club and you can't help but respect that. And that's what I thought when I started this. Like, I got to respect it. And I want to be around guys like you. That's the end of my story. But yeah, so Derek, here we are, man, this weekend. What'd you think?
I enjoyed the whole thing. The fishing was great. Going out with Captain Phil.
Caught a shark, dude.
Caught a shark. That was pretty cool.
Black-tip shark.
Black-tip shark. Yeah. It was a adolescent shark, but
That's
it was still a shark.
It'll get bigger as time goes on.
Absolutely.
It'll be 5 or 6 feet by the time,
And just because you caught him when he was 2 feet doesn't mean he won't be 6. He's a 6-foot shark.
There you
just
go.
Tell your story in 3 years.
Yep.
I told Dylan last night, my oldest, I chatted him on the phone. I told him, you caught a shark. He goes, you got a shark? Because they loved a shark. They would rather go catch shark than anything. And especially those little black tips, because they're in shallow water. They're screamers, man. That's a good fight. That fish got no quit in it.
Oh, it's surprising.
And it's got a mouthful of teeth, so you got to respect them too, Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, overall the day on the water was great. We caught quite a few different types of fish.
So you got a flounder too?
We got a flounder. We got a grouper, a jack, of course the snook.
Yeah.
Was there anything else, Jeremy?
You can catch a sheep.
A trout.
Oh yeah, trout. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got a trout.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We saw needlefish, had them following bait, never hooked them. I don't know. Are they
That's not a game fish.
grabber?
It's a bait fish.
Yeah. Okay.
Sort of, kind of. They were kind of like ballyhoo, but ballyhoo is a better bait fish. But the needlefish are. It's funny because the boys figured out how to catch them. You got to use these tiny little gold hooks and just tip it with a piece of shrimp, and they'll get it every time. But I'm talking, these double X, tiny little gold hooks, right?
Right.
And so they catch them, Dad, when they're younger. I say, yeah. Watch it, man. This guy's got a mouthful of teeth and they're sharp. They call them needlefish for a reason, man. Those teeth are like needles. Okay, Dad. Well, what do you think happened?
Good. They got my hand in there.
Exactly. There's blood all over the dog. And I said, same thing with the barracuda. I said, Dylan, they finally caught a barracuda. It's like, Dylan, buddy, you gotta watch that fish, man. Their teeth are razor sharp. Okay, Dad. What do you think happened? Yep. And he tells that story to this day. He's like, well, that's right, man. Well, anyway, so you had some fun. That's cool, man. We've been at this. We're going to roll this thing up here. I appreciate you, but I do want to touch on one thing. In the pre-show, we were talking about leadership. And I asked you guys to consider over lunch, talking about what does leadership mean to you and some examples of it, maybe from your civilian jobs or your military experience, but what is it? What's that? What about certain leaders have you found that made you, or give us an example of somebody who you maybe you gravitated towards or really thought was a good leader, and why? Jeremy, you want to go first, and then we'll roll up with you there, Dere.
Yeah, I mean, leadership's a pretty important thing, and without it, where are we going to be? Somebody's got to follow. We can't all be at the top, right? And what do they say? Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Right. Well, a good leader, somebody that you want to follow. And man, I think Derek and I are still sitting here after 13 years because we found a leader to follow.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I don't know what to say about it, but I'll tell you that, it's an honor to be around you guys, man. And I feel like, I think a good leader is somebody that also will follow. And I look at you guys and I feel like, man, I'd follow you guys too, man. No problem. I wouldn't even have blink an eye about it, for sure. No, I appreciate that. Derek, you got something? Yeah, I'm sure somebody in your past that,
Oh, sure. I guess a leader to me is someone who can basically influence or motivate a person.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's kind of one of those things where you figure that out about the person the first few seconds of meeting them, whether or not they're a real leader or not, and I don't know. I'm gonna go throw this one out there, and I know a lot of people might say this, but an example of a leader to me growing up was my dad. That man, you wanted to do things for him. Like, he was a hard worker.
Yeah.
And
didn't want to disappoint him.
Right.
Exactly. My dad was the first leader that I remember, look back on. And of course, he's your dad. He's going to teach you right from wrong. He's going to, my dad didn't give out faint praise. Faint praise, like, good job, John. No matter what I did.
You had to earn it.
You damn right you had to earn that. And when my dad, gave you the, the little head nod, like, of approval, you were like, man, I mean, that went so far. Right? And it wasn't because he was like a super hard man. I wouldn't say that. It's just, I know his dad was. Like, that's how he grew up. Mm-hmm. He described my grandfather, who I'm told I met, but I don't remember him because, he passed before I was old enough. But I know he was a hard man. And classic Catholic family, they had like 6 girls and my dad. My dad Grew up with 6 sisters. Yeah, that's just crazy to me. But yeah, no, you're right. Dads are. I know some guys have examples of dads who maybe didn't do a good job, and I'm sorry about that. But that really is an example of a good leader, and coaches too.
Yeah.
I look back on some coaches, and I was blessed. Of course, I was on active duty for 20 years. I was around some amazing men. And I'm not going to mention any names because that list is long and quite distinguished. But, yeah, you're right, Jeremy. It's, we all can't be, chiefs. We got to have some Indians. But lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. You guys are leading every time you go on a mission, whether you like it or not. People are looking at you. The guys are looking at you. And this isn't the kind of space anymore where like, grab your rucksacks, follow me. We're not doing that,
Right.
But it's just the fact that you're there. Leadership is there, right? And their experience. And that's the other thing is I would never ask you guys to do anything I haven't already done or wouldn't still do. I might physically be able to do some of it anymore. I don't know. But I would never ask you, and that's, I think, a trait of a good leader is never ask your people to do something that you haven't done or aren't willing to do. You got to go out the wire, and if the boss is in the rear with the gear, I don't know, and there's something not right there, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be present with you. That's whether he's a sergeant or a lieutenant. That's just the way it is. Anyway, you guys got any saved rounds? Last things? Anything else you want to share with us before we wrap this up?
I just think this is a great opportunity to be able to see kind of the depths of what makes the foundation.
Yeah. Tomorrow you guys are going to get
that'll be helpful.
A double bucket load full of that because, I'll probably turn I don't even know what's on that whiteboard there, but on both sides of it are scribbles that this is where I sit every day when I come to work and dream up neat stuff for other people to do. No, it's not glorious work, but we're back here. We're like the hamsters on the wheels, making it all turn and trying to make it transparent for everybody else. Like the grants that we have to write, the administration things that, that just have to be done, the logistics, the communications, the resources, and all. Like this is the hub of all the activity that's being conducted across the nation, right here, and it's not just you guys. It's obviously the hosts. It's obviously the supporters. God bless you all for helping make this thing happen. If you're listening and you're a host or a supporter, somebody who's provided this resource to do this mission, thank you. Because we can't do it without you. And I certainly didn't think that 20 years ago that we'd have 42 missions in 30 some odd states doing this. I had no clue, but we can't do it without you. You're doing a great job. And, these tremendous guides are your connection to, the chair I'm sitting in, I guess is the best way of saying it. But you guys are doing great, and I'm proud of you, and I can't thank you enough for what you're doing. And I know the heroes out there, the 1800 that we are serving at present, I know that they really appreciate it too. It's got to feel pretty good to fall in on a mission that's got capable leaders and people who want you to be there. And these hosts are looking forward to this every single year. That's crazy. I didn't ask any of them to help. I didn't ask anybody to help. So you got that kind of organic growth from people who genuinely want to make a difference in your lives, and that's a powerful equation right there, if you ask me. So
it really is amazing what all they do. It really is. Yeah.
From the meals they put on to the homes that they open up, to the land they give us access to the people they surround you with. That's crazy, but that's why I say it's delicate. To me, it's nothing to ever take for granted. It's like, to me, it's like having this little bird in your hand. That's how I look at it. Like when the first check that anybody ever wrote to the foundation was 20 years ago. times longer than that, because I don't even think we were established. Anyway, it's about 20 years ago. And I was on the road going somewhere, and my assistant called. Her name at the time, I think, was Christina. And I was in Boca Raton, and my office was in Boca on the other side of the state. And she's like, Mr. McDaniel, my phone rings. I'm in the airport. And Mr. McDaniel, I said, yeah, what's going on? She goes, there's a check here. Or there's an envelope with a check in it here, I think. So I'll open it up. She's like, well, and she makes this noise, and I go, what is it? She goes, it's a check. I go, well, how much is it for? She goes, $5,000. I goes, $5,000. Who's it made out to? She goes, it's made out to the Wounded Warriors in Action. I said, whose name's on it? She goes, Appreciation of Earth and Animals. I go, what? I was like, of course, it took like 5 more years before we got another check, but I was feeling pretty good. I was feeling pretty positive about the prospect, but yeah. So to me, it's like this little bird. You just got to take care of it, man. You can't take it for granted. It's delicate. It's super strong, and it's very capable, and it's no longer this little bird. It's more like a pterodactyl at this stage. But I still like to treat it like it's this little, this thing that you got to be careful with, and that's how I treat it, just out of respect more than anything else. So anyway, thanks for listening. Hope everybody has a great day, and thanks for what you're doing. Okay, bye.
Thank you for listening to the WWIA Podcast. To learn more about the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation and how you can get involved, please visit our website at WWIAF.org or follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you'd like to comment or offer feedback about our podcast, or if you have a suggestion for a future episode, please email us at podcast@WWIAF.org. Thank you for your support and for helping us honor, connect, and heal our combat wounded Purple Heart heroes through the power of the great outdoors.